Welcome back to the second part of this tutorial. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to exit out now, and let's go to this tab here, and I want to add a table to that very tab. Just dump the table right there. I'm going to right click on the properties of this table, just right click and just select table, and in here you see the column and that's the rows. So we want to add more columns and change all of these details, the titles and so on. Okay, but I'm not going to be naming the table with just anyhow name. I have a database, and I will actually include a link. That is the database right there. So let's double click on that very database, and you guys will see all of the fields on that database. Right click on it, design view. Those are the names that I intend to use for my tables. So I will come in here. That is going to be ID, product ID, and I'm going to change this to string. Repeat the same thing for this. That one is going to be product. That will be product name. The next one is going to be description, and the type is strings. All of the type, I'm going to make sure they are strings anyway. So I have 29 in total. So that description. Then here we have stock level. Okay, then I'm going to add more. Let's insert more, and this is going to be the order level. There. And the next one is out of stock. Alright. Then I'm going to have number of order. There we go. In total it's going to be 28, so I may have to just kind of like speed up the whole process. All I'm doing is just entering all of these values that I have in here. Okay, so this, like I said, this database is going to be made available on my system for you guys to have a look at. Alright, so the next one is going to be the cost. So we just enter cost in here, and followed by, so I'm going to speed that up and get back to you guys once it's done. Alright guys, and that is my table. So it's all completed now. In total, like I said, is 29. Okay, now that the table is completed, let's go back to the invoice details. Okay, right here inside the invoice details, I'm going to select this. See all of this combo box, I need to actually populate them. So let's go to the properties of this very combo box, and right here you see where we have model. Click on these three dots. Okay, and I'm going to change that. So the first one, I'm just going to enter select product ID, and followed by the following, and below I'm going to enter the following. That is that sorted. Now let's come in here, select order, and in here, and that is going to be select order ID, say order ID, and enter as follows. And that's order ID taken care of. So let's copy that, click on next, and select this customer ID. Go to model, click on model, customer ID, select customer ID, let's just say cost ID, and underneath here we enter as follows for customer ID. Click on OK. Alright, we have a couple more. Let's come in here. That will be sales or no sales. Let's just say select sales. Let's say sales. So one is going to be on sales and the other is going to be no sales. There, that's taken care of. And in here, discount, click on that. So let's say select discount, and the discount start from 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Yeah, that would do. Okay, discount is taken care of. Now let's take care of these three. VAT. So let's say select VAT. So we say no VAT. Yes, VAT. $65 plus. No VAT. Okay. Now click on OK. Now the last one here is account type. So come back to model, just type in select account type. And right here, those are the account type. Click on OK. The next one on the next and the last one. So let's come back in here. Model. That one is select payment method. Okay, so the payment method will be, let's say, cash, Visa, card, MasterCard, or debit card. There we go. Alright, one other thing I'm going to do with all of these combo box, some of the text seems to be very large, so I'm going to sort of like reduce the size of it to something a little bit more manageable. We can make that maybe about 22 or 20. That's fine, 20 is fine. Okay, that's alright. Now the next thing I want to do is I need to be able to connect this my database to the system. So let's close that. I'm going to go straight in here and I will open up. First of all, let me open up my control panel. Inside the control panel, what you need is the administrative tool. If you don't have your administrative tool, sometimes it might be in category format. Just drop this down and change it to large icon. Once the large icon is selected, this is what you see. That's the layout. Double click on administrative tools. There we go. And in here, right here, there's two different types there. One is 64-bit and the other one is 32 bits. Depend on your own operating system. Mine is 64-bit, so I'm going to double click on that. There we go. Now the driver that I need, that's the driver that I need, this very one. But to be able to add my database, I'm going to go to System DSN. Click on System.dsn. The database that I'm looking for is called iStocks. Click on Add, and let's first of all select the driver for that very database. That is it right there. Click on Finish. Now give the database a name. I will call it iStocks with an S. Now you see where we have data select right here. Click on the select, and now I need to browse to where I have my database. So double click on this C drive so that you can locate wherever that might be. Mine is going to be inside a document, and let's scroll right down. I should be able to see my document in there. So depend on where you save your database though. So I'm going to scroll right down, and that is iStock with an S. Click on that and click on OK, and that's it. My database is linked. And then click on OK again, and click on OK. There. If you want to check if it's there, you can just do that again. Go back in here, and that's your database right there. Alright, we can now close this. We don't need that anymore, and close the control panel as well. Alright, back in our editor, I'm now going to click on the project tab here and look for the name of your project, and that's my project. It's called Java Stocks. So make sure you drop it down, and you then need the library. Look at the library there. Right click on the library. What you now need is known as the jar files, so that the connectivity will take effect. Click on the jar file, and right there you need the following files. Okay, you need those files: the common login, HSQLDB, Jack Asset, RS2, XML, UCAN Asset. You need all of those files. So I'm going to click on Open, so you can always search for those files online. So have a good look at them. Now I'm going to select it all. Click on Open, and those are the files on my system now. That's good. So now let's go to my code view. I need to add some or import some libraries. So right here, right underneath here, I'm going to import the following libraries. There we go. Those are the libraries that I need. So take a good look at those libraries. So make sure those files or those libraries are imported the way they are. Now I'm going to scroll down. See right underneath my public class, the name of my project. You can see extension and so on. So right underneath, I'm going to now create a double array, and that array I'm just going to call it product. Yeah, that's fine, product. And this product is going to be equals new double, and just give it a size. I'm going to be using that for my calculations. Now the next thing is, let's initialize my connections. So I'm going to say connection equals scan. There. Now the next one is going to be my, let's say, prepared statements. So with the prepare statement, I'm just going to call it PST, and let's go for result. Result set, I will just call that RS. There we go. I'm also going to declare, let's declare some integer variables. Yeah, I'm going to need those. Let's say I, Q, and QS. There, those are the variables that I need. And the next thing I want to now do is I'm now going to create a function right under these initialized components. So my function, let me just add a line in here first where my function would be. Okay, that's for my function. I'm going to copy that line. I just want to know where my function is. There we go. So let's enter functions in there. I might use one or two. Okay, now the very first one, I'm going to call that public. Let's say void, because it's not going to return anything. And we just say ms access stock db. Okay, and I'm now going to say these parentheses, they'll just enter the following argument in their table. That is going to be JTable1. There. We'll come right down here, enter statement block. Right inside the statement block, I'm going to also enter try catch statement. This try catch will help me in case if there's any error. So let's come down here, this catch, let's enter the catch statement there. Let's say catch exception EX. Whatever my exception EX statement is going to be, so I can just enter J option plain dot show, let's say dot show message dialog. Let's see, there should be message dialog in there. There we go. Double click on that. Dot show message dialog, and let's just say it's going to be none, and that is it. So that should handle whatever error that I might run into. Okay, now inside the try itself, let's go for the connection now. Let's say class dot for name, and that is going to be net dot on, as you can assets dot jdbc dot you can assets. Yep, I have to make sure I get the spelling right. Driver, let's make sure it is correct. Alright, so I've got one of my drivers there. Now the next thing is I'm going to now say my connector, which is the con, that will be equals drive or driver manager dot get components. And what component are you getting? That is going to be JDBC column you can access grab all of this and just paste it here. Forward slash, no, column, forward slash. Now I need to get the location of my database, so let's open it up, and here is my database right there, this very one. Make sure it is selected. You can then hold on to the shift key, right click on it, then you can copy the path. Look, okay, copy path, that's it. I'm now going to come down here. Yeah, let's take it down. And just paste it right there. That is the path. So I might as well just add plus. And you see I have an error there. So what I then need to do is, you see the backslash, I'm going to make it double backslash. Make sure all of them are double backslash. And the end of it, enter semicolon. That is it. You just connected your database. Now that's not finished yet. Now let's come down here and say statement st, that is equals connect dot create statement. Just grab all of it there, and let's say string query, that will be equals, let's use that to for the SQL statement, equals select all from iStocks. iStocks is the name of my database. Remember that. You can call your database whatever you like. And I'm going to now say RT, and that is the result set. RT, that will be equals ST dot. We want you to execute query right there. Yeah. Execute query, and inside the parentheses we have the query there. End that with a semicolon here. Do that again. That's it. And right underneath now, and I want to add everything, whatever I have on my database, I want to be able to display it on my table. So I'm going to say JTable1 here. I believe that's the name of my table. Dot set mode, and what I was setting, that's going to be DB utilities dot result set to table mode. And what is that table? Is RT. Very good. That's good. Okay, I'm going to try this out with the aid of this function name and this table name that I made up. I'm going to go into, let's go straight back into the form design, and I want to right click and select Windows action, window activates. Now in there I'm going to paste that, and let's get rid of all of this. My table is called the original name is table1 but lowercase j. That is the name of my table, and you end up with semicolon here. Very good, no more error. Okay, I'm going to save that and let's run and see if it works fine. All the data that I have inside the record that I have inside this database should be displayed. Okay, the database is coming up. I'm talking about all the records I have in there, so I'm going to close that, else it's not going to work. So let's compile and we then run it and see. Okay, now it's finished compiling. Click on run. If it works fine, I should be able to see all of those data right inside the table. There we go. Look at that. That is brilliant. Very good. Alright, this should have been somewhere here at the far end here, because that's the ID. Alright, that's fine, it's working anyway. Now the next thing I want to do is let's take care of this exit and reset. Those are simple, so we just take care of those. So back into design view, right click on the button for exit action and action perform right there. Okay, right here, just right above this very button, let's say private, just say JFrame, calling the object, and that is going to be known as frame. I can now come in here now inside the button procedural area itself, and I'll just say JFrame, that is going to be equals new JFrame, and we give it the alias of exit. There we go. Now I'm going to use an if statement. If J option plain dot, let's go for show confirm dialog, and if that is going to be frame, we can say something like, do you want to exit? That's my second argument actually. Then the next argument, I can just make that, let's say that is going to be stock control. Very good. Now the next argument, I'm going to call that J option plain, let's say dot yes or no option. Yeah, just grab all of that. Yeah, I might as well just go to the next line for this. Okay, now the last argument, that one is going to be, let's say equals. I'm going to get rid of this, and come right out here, and I'm going to say equals J option dot yes no option, enter semicolon. There. Okay, in here I'll just say system dot exit, and that will be 0. And that's it. That should take care of the exits. Okay, you must create just a private method there for it though. So I'm going to compile. Let's run it and see how the exit is going to respond. Click on run. Okay, hold on. Okay, I'm just going to click on run, and we'll take it from there. There we go. So let's click on exit, no, exit, yes. That's very good. Alright, the exit is working, and I need to now take care of the resets and total, but I will just call it the end of the second part of this tutorial, and I'll see you guys shortly.